Hi and welcome to another video production from Philip Stein Associates. Today we are going to show you how to download, fill out, and finally file your own FBAR. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring you directly to the website where you can go on Google, Bing, anywhere you want. It's better to use Internet Explorer as opposed to Google Chrome or Apple Safari, because specifically the Adobe Reader works better off of Internet Explorer. The other ones have their own reader and it doesn't always work with the FBAR filing, so use Internet Explorer if you're able to. You would just go in, search FBAR anywhere, although you can also follow the link in the description or a link sent to you by one of the accountants here at Philip Stein Associates, and you would just click on this form, the BSAE filing system, no registration filing FBAR, which pops up as soon as you search for the FBAR form. And that's going to bring you to this website over here. Okay, to download the FBAR form, all you have to do is click on this button. You can submit an FBAR from here, although you can do it directly from the form itself. The one thing to point out over here is that if you're going to file a joint FBAR, let's say you and a spouse both have accounts in both of your names, and then one of you have accounts without the other, so then you can file one joint one for the person filing that has both joint and separate accounts, and the spouse that just has joint accounts is included in your FBAR. You would have to file this. Well, you would have to download this FinCEN form 114A over here, fill out the information, and then you'll save it for your records. You don't have to file it at all. You just have to save it for your records in case the Treasury Department ever comes and asks you about it. You want to have it stored up and saved there. Hold on 1 second and it should load. And here we go. You have the owner's name, your name, first name, last name, middle initial, the spouse's last name or first name, middle initial. This is the number of accounts you have and the tax year that's being involved. You would put both of your social security numbers down here, or if your spouse doesn't have a social security number, although I don't know why they'd be filing a FBAR, then you could check off the fine and put down the Mispar Zahut, and both of you sign it, keep it for your records for at least 6 years in case the Treasury Department ever comes back asking for it. After that, you just hit this button and you will download the form. To make things easier, we have a form that's already filled out here, but that is how you would download the form. Okay, so now you have the form, the FBAR form. You're ready to file it on your own. You have to fill it out first. What do we do? So the filing name comes up over here. You're going to plug in whatever your name is, FBAR, and then whatever the tax year is that you're filing it out for. Please note that the way that the PDF works is they set it up in a very cool way where you can actually click on the tabs and it will take you directly to the pages. For example, if you want to go to the filing information, which is page 2 of the PDF, you can just click on the tab. To go back to the first page, you can click on the Home tab. You can also scroll down by using the buttons on the PDF Adobe itself, or you can scroll down like any other PDF and just move down as you want. Please ignore these buttons here for right now, and we're going to move downwards to this this box saying if there's a reason why you're filing it late, you filed it after June 30th of the next year, you would want to stick in the reason why it's late. You can stick in any of these acceptable reasonings, or you can stick in your own. If you have other, box will appear and you can plug something in. In this case, we're assuming that you're filing it on time, so we're going to leave it blank. That brings us down to the filer information. The filer information is your personal information. This could be the year that you're putting it in for. It could be 2014, 2017, 2,999. You put the type of filer is generally going to be individual, although you can have it be a partnership, a corporation, anything that has an FBAR filing requirement. Most of our clients are individuals who are going to be doing it on their own, so that's what we're using today. The U.S. taxpayer identification number would be either their social security number, your ITIN number, or your EIN number if you're a foreign company. If you don't have either of those, you can fill out the foreign identification information here, but as soon as you fill this out, it goes gray. But otherwise, you would put in your Mispar Zahut, your passport. That works as well. You would enter in your date of birth, your name, last name, first name, middle name, your address, and that would bring us down here to 14A and 14B, which is if you have over 25 accounts you have a financial interest in, or if you have over 25 accounts that you don't have a financial interest in, but you're able to sign on for other people. So this would be, if you have more than that, you would check yes. Over here, there's not much more that you have to do in the FBAR. Over here, there's slightly still more, but it's still much less than if you had under 25. And you don't have to fill out everything for each account. It goes much quicker. For our purposes, we're assuming that you don't have over 25 accounts, so we're checking both of the boxes no. That brings us down to the main body of the FBAR, which is going to be Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Part 2 is going to be the accounts that you own separately, the ones that you are not joint on, the ones that are actually yours, which could mean one of two things. One, it is an account that is actually yours physically, your name is on the account and you have money in it that's yours. Or two is, let's say you have a company that you own 100% or over 50%, where you control the company, then you would theoretically have control of those companies' bank accounts, and it would as well come on part 2 over here. So you would fill out the maximum account value, which is, in this case, $50,000. The numbers are in US dollar, not in shekel or a foreign equivalent. And it is important to note that for an FBAR filing requirement, you need to have in all of your accounts combined over $10,000, and that could mean any that could be one of many things. It could mean you have one bank account that has more than $10,000, in which case then, as soon as you hit that limit, you have to file for every single foreign bank account and pension account that you have, regardless of how much is in them. They could be in minus, they could be at $1. You would still have to put every single one because it's a collective threshold of over $10,000. The second thing is that it doesn't necessarily mean dollars, meaning if you have 40,000 shekel collectively in all of your accounts at any point in time, you would have an FBAR filing requirement in 2014. Anything where the end of year currency exchange rate would make it more than $10,000 if it's in foreign value, it would make you have a filing requirement. To know what those exchange rates are, there should be information in the description. You can ask one of the tax preparers or associates at Philip Stein Associates. Would be happy to give you what the numbers are for that particular year, and then this way you can convert everything to US dollars. But you would basically put in the maximum amount value during the year. You would put in the type of account, which could be either bank, security, or other. Most cases are going to be bank or other. Financial institution name would be the name of the bank, whatever it is, the name of the pension company, the account number that you have, the address for that account. It should specifically be the SNF if possible, meaning the branch of that bank if possible, the city, and just the address. Over here you'll have to plug in IL for Israel. If it's an Israeli bank, you'll notice that you have to either scroll down to get to it. You can hit I 8 times, or a trick that I like to use is hitting the J once and then the up button twice, because it'll get you to Israel much quicker than hitting I 8 times. This is just another account in part 2 that I own separately to show you how it would be entered in. It would be if you have a pension account, the maximum value in that pension, again, if it's a negative, you'd have to plug in $1. Negatives and zeros don't work, but you can plug it in $1, and that should work fine. The type of account will be other, and then you're able to type it here. We write pension. I would put that down if it was a Kupat Gemel, Karen Hishtalmut, Karen Pensia. All of those would fall under the header of pension, and you can plug in pension over there. Financial institution name, in this case, would be Harel. The account number, address, again, everything there. Notice that on 15A, there is this box. If you do not know the value, you can use your best estimate, but if you do not know the value at all, you can check that box if there's no way of figuring out, and that would at least tell the Treasury Department, look, I have this account, I don't know what the maximum value is, but I'm putting it on my FBAR, and that is reasonable if you cannot get the information. We're going to scroll down to Part 3. Part 3 are accounts that you own jointly with anyone else, your spouse, anybody, it could be a child. If you and them own it and you both have money in that account, it would fall under Part 3 of jointly owned. Again, it's very similar to Part 1. You would put the maximum value of the account, the type of account it is, address, name of account, ID number, or rather account number, and the address of where it is. Notice the only difference is this part, line 24, number of joint owners is 1. The reason why it's 1 is because it means joint owners other than you. So if you have a spouse you have a joint account with, that number is going to be 1. It's not going to be 2. It does not include yourself. You would put the principal joint owner over here. So if there's 3 owners that own it together and you're filing and you're one of those 3, you would put the number 2 on line 24 and then put the principal joint owner over here on these next lines. That's going to be the Social Security number, their Mispar Zahut, and you can check which one it is. It could be a foreign, it could be Social Security number. For these purposes, we're using Social Security number. You have the last name, first name, middle name. You have the address again, and again to Israel, and that is it. You're golden with Part 3. Something important to point out that I should have mentioned earlier is that if you have more accounts in any of these sections, there's these 2 boxes over here that you can press. The plus sign will add an additional account for that section. So in this case, Part 3, you'll have 1 of 2, and then you'll have 2 of 2. If you want to delete one, you can hit this subtraction, and that will get rid of that account and leave the others there. So you can fill out as many as you want for each section. Going down to part 4. Part 4 would be in the case where you do not personally have money in that account. It's not your account, but you are able to sign on it. So for example, if you're the CEO of a company and you own the company 10% or less, or however much you own it, as long as you're not controlling the company itself, but you're the CFO, you're the CEO, you have the ability to sign on the company. Or for example, if you have a trust fund in your child's name, and you have the ability to sign on that account, you would put the maximum value of that account, the type of account again, all of the same information, and then you would put the owner information down below. And you could, if there's additional owners, you could always increase the number of owners that there are with the same way that you increase the account numbers. In this case, this would be, a bank account that I opened up, a savings account for a child. You would put the last name, their social security number or Mispar Zahut, or any kind of foreign ID number, their first name, middle name, and again their address. And then the only difference here is line 43, filer's title with this owner, which would be if it's a company CEO, CFO, in this case it's parent, and that is it. Going down to part 5. Part 5 we're going to leave blank. We're not going to go into it in detail in this video. The reason being is that for the most part, consolidated reports, any account that you would need to do on a consolidated basis would fall under a corporate FBAR filing. Very unlikely to have it on an individual. And you can, if you have part 5 that you need to fill out, I would definitely be in contact with your tax preparer or an associate at Philip Stein Associates. I would not fill it out on your own necessarily. And that is basically it. There's this last page, which is the signature information, where if you're filing on your own, you can leave it blank, and you're going to go back to the home page. And that is basically how you fill out the FBAR form. So now all we have to do is figure out how we're going to file it. Okay, so now we have downloaded the FBAR form, we have filled out the FBAR form, and we are ready to send it off. You want to hit this validate button just to make sure that there are no issues with the FBAR. A box will pop up and say if there's any validation errors. In this case, it's just that it needs to be signed, so we can click OK. You will notice that this box over here that says ready to file is grayed off, and what you have to do in order to make that highlighted is you have to sign the form and you have to save it. You have to do both of these functions in that order. You have to sign it, which is as simple as clicking a button. This box will pop up saying I acknowledge I am electronically signing the BSA report. You agree. At this point in time, you cannot make any further changes to the report. It is now signed, but it's still grayed out because you haven't yet saved it. So you're going to click that save box. It's going to bring up a place where you can save it to, and you want to make sure that it is saved properly. Once it is saved, we're going to save it over here. You want to keep track of this form for at least 6 years after filing it, or 6 years after the deadline. You want to make sure that you have it there. We're going to save it, and now you will see that this box over here that pops up is a ready to file box. And once we're ready to do it, we're going to hit that box, and that will allow us to file the form. You can do it again if you remember from the website. You can hit, there was a box on the website that said submit FBAR. This is just simpler. I would hit ready to file, and now that's going to bring us to a website where you are able to submit your FBAR that you have now prepared and done. I'm just going to let it load up for a second over here. But basically, it will bring you up to a page where you have to fill out your name, your email twice. Here you go. It's your email address once. You're going to confirm your email address, your first name, your last name, your phone number, which can be your US number. It can be an Israeli number. Any kind of number will really work. You're going to hit this choose file, and you're going to click on the file that you had saved after signing it. Okay, it has to be the signed copy, and then you will hit submit. This will submit the FBAR for you. You will get a confirmation page here. You will get an email sent to you, the email addresses that you listed over here, saying, hey, we've received your FBAR, and then in a couple days from then, you should receive another email saying that it has been acknowledged and accepted by the BSA e-filing system. And you are done. That is it. I would keep that confirmation again, keep it for 6 years at least. Send a copy of the FBAR to the tax preparer that you're using at Philip Stein Associates, so we have it on our file, so we can hold on to it for you and use it in case it comes up in the FATCA forms or anything like that. Okay, so now you know how to download, prepare, and file your own FBAR. Please feel free to visit our website at www.pstein.com. This is Yaakov Jacob, and I hope you have an excellent day.